Hey there! I am doing this video a couple days out from the last one I did, where I vowed to make sure that I'm going to torque again, which is still very much the case. Happy it's been a couple days since my last video, because that's pretty much meant that I've had a couple pretty good days. Relatively speaking, I'm a little over a week out from the initial injury and I'm feeling quite a bit better, making progress each day, requiring fewer and fewer amounts of pain management, except for the days where I kind of push it a little hard. So I'm just trying to find that ideal balance for my body between strengthening and functioning and being up and alert, and also giving it the amount of valuable reparative, restorative rest that it wants. So working on that balance. It can be fickle at times. Sometimes I definitely push it a little harder than I should, and my body lets me know in the form of pain. But again, that's just a balance that I have to strike and just be a lot more diligent than I already have been at listening to my body. Also happy to report that since the last video, I've gotten a shower successfully by myself without having to wear the brace and without falling, which is one of those few things that you take for granted before something like this happens, and it really is something to be grateful for, as minuscule as it might sound, to be able to safely clean yourself. So that is a good thing, and I will keep doing updates as far as, you know, how I'm feeling and my status in terms of just mental, physical, emotional progress. But one of the main things I want to focus on now, since knock on wood, I've been consistently getting a little bit better and there's not as many dramatic highs and lows to report, which I hope continues to stay the same. I do want to kind of transition the videos a bit into more of the research that I've done in regards to healing, and particularly bone fracture healing. And I've done quite a bit of digging online because I want to make sure that my body, which is blessedly designed to already heal itself, has all the quote-unquote power tools that it could possibly want to make sure that its self-healing goes as quickly and as thoroughly and strongly and integrated as possible. So again, I've been doing a lot of research in terms of some of the do's and don'ts with fracture healing, and a lot of the different types of macronutrients, micronutrients, phytonutrients to be giving my body so it can use those as tools to really rebuild as best it possibly can. And honestly, I've done enough research and I've encouraged enough based on what I've found that after all this is said and done, I may even have a stronger spine than I did before the whole thing started. So that is what I am hoping for. That is what I am doing my best psychologically, physically to manifest. And that's hopefully what we can accomplish. So along the way, I want to keep you updated on that journey in rebuilding my bone fracture. And hopefully if you ever encounter any fractures yourself, which again I hope isn't the case, but if you do, hopefully this information will help you to heal in a quick and thorough, very strong way. I'll do it in increments as I come up with different things that I want to share. The first one that I want to get out of the way in this video is actually in regards to the inflammation, and the reason it's the first one I want to address is because In previous videos, for pain management, I was very clear about how much I was choosing to rely more on an anti-inflammatory route in order to manage my pain. Through some research, I have learned that inflammation, and in hindsight, always being 2020, it kind of makes sense that inflammation, since it's a natural process your body undergoes, isn't necessarily a bad thing. But back on track, the inflammation is supposed to take place. There's even one of the resources I found breaks it down into 3 different categories of healing, and the first phase of healing for the first week or 2 is considered the inflammation phase, and it's not all a bad thing. Your body's actually going in when it is inflamed and managing to kind of clear out some of the cells that it doesn't need anymore and generate some really fire up and generate a lot of the rebuilding cells that are going to be there. So in taking the anti-inflammatory, the medication form of anti-inflammatories, synthetic form of anti-inflammatories, I was quite possibly derailing or inhibiting, let's say, my body's natural ability to really fire up all of the sorting and rebuilding cells that should have been full force during that phase. Again, like I'm going to practice what I preach. Kind of forgave myself for that one. It's no use being a martyr to a past you can't change. So I forgave myself for it. I'm thankful I at least have the information now. And given that information, I will say, in order to manage my pain, I have cut back from, instead of, reaching for an ibuprofen or an Advil, I have been trying to rely a little bit more on like acetaminophen. So for instance, like Tylenol, or like I'll take an extra strength Tylenol. I took 2 of those yesterday instead of taking, a couple 100 milligrams of the NSAID pain relievers, which are the anti-inflammatories. So trying to let my body manifest some of that inflammation and some of those cells that are supposed to help. That said, supposedly making sure your body gets enough natural forms, like food forms and nutrient forms of antioxidant and anti-inflammatory substances is actually a good thing, because it tends to work with your body in terms of giving you a little bit of that anti-inflammatory pain relief, but also providing you with antioxidant powers in order to counter some of the oxidative stress that tends to be quite dramatic compared to usual when you fracture a bone. So, for example, some of these include like vitamin C as a great antioxidant and I guess anti-inflammatory vitamin. Omega-3s are pretty good as well, which is kind of starting to describe a little more and shed some light as to why I have naturally been craving a lot more oranges and citrus and vitamin C rich foods, which I have made sure to give my body a lot of, and I do feel better when I have those in my system. And I made sure to eat salmon yesterday and try and get some more of those omega-3s in my system, because those are very, very strongly anti-inflammatory. But again, they are natural sources of anti-inflammatories, and they also come, as long as you're getting it from a good source, they also come with a good degree of other macro and micronutrients that your body needs in order to heal in instances like fracture healing. So just wanted to keep you updated on the inflammation front. Of course, in order, do whatever works best for you, but based on what I've discovered from here on out, when it comes to injuries, specifically now dealing with pain management with this spinal fracture, I am going to taper off quite a bit any reliance on synthetic anti-inflammatory pain management, and rely more on natural anti-inflammatories and antioxidants in order to help manage some of that pain and really boost up some of the healing cells to do their work. And also, if I am going to rely on something a little more synthetic and stronger, I am reaching now for an acetaminophen, like Tylenol, extra strength Tylenol, instead of the NSAIDs. So keep that in mind when you are dealing with a fracture. Again, do what's right for you based on what I found. I think this is a better way to go so my body can do what it's designed to do and heal and be strong. And yeah, thanks for watching. And if you find yourself in a gnarly situation like mine, I hope that you're doing well and you're staying positive and you are giving your body everything it needs to do the miraculous healing that it is already designed to do. Take care.